Hi everyone, welcome to another of my Colab 365 video blogs. Today I'm going to talk about how I started my own business and became a Microsoft partner and how you can too. A little bit about me. My name is Nikia Carter. I used to be the CEO of a company called Carter McGowan Services, and now I'm Director of Collaboration and Training at C3 Integrated Solutions. I'm a Microsoft strategist, solutions developer, and trainer, and I have specialties in Office 365, SharePoint, and related. And you can see a lot of my street cred here on this slide. If you ever have any questions or just want to reach out, you can feel free to get social with me. My Twitter handle is Lady Guinevere, as you can see, and you can feel free to also connect with me on LinkedIn. So in this presentation, I'm going to talk about how I started my own business and then how I became a Microsoft partner, which was actually pretty accidental. So I'm going to start off with how the accident occurred. Well, I first started thinking about starting a business and I was just trying to figure out how should I start. I wanted to have a business where I did SharePoint development. So I looked around for how I could get SharePoint so that I could work on it. And oh my gosh, it is expensive, or at least it was hugely expensive. If you got a SharePoint environment, that I wanted to get an enterprise environment to make sure I could best work with the customers that I expected to get. I wanted to get all of the capability and functionality, and licensing is really expensive to get a SharePoint server license. So I looked around a little bit more and found Office 365. It actually had come out the year before, so it kind of saved my life. While I was looking into Office 365 and signing up, I kind of tripped into becoming a partner. I kind of saw this link that said something about becoming a Microsoft partner, and I'm like, hey, I'm working with Microsoft products. I'm about to start a business. Maybe I should look to see what this does. And then I just wandered down the path um, to Microsoft and becoming a partner, which really means that I filled out a whole heap of paperwork. But I was able to become a partner. So just to give you a little bit more details, kind of in general, but more details on the starting the business part. The first thing that you want to do is you want to go to SBA. Whoops, went a little bit too far. You want to go to SBA. SBA.gov is a treasure trove of information brought to you by the Small Business Administration, but also brought to you by other business owners that have long-standing experience. So it is a treasure trove of information and it's all free. You can go there, you can get courses, you can find information on how you can start federal contracting, the beginnings of starting and managing a business, how you can get funding. There's a loan and grants program, and it'll actually help to match you with a lender. The Learning Center has a plethora of courses for you to go through, from how do I even get started to starting a business to now been in a business for a while. How do I go to the next stage? How do I hire employees? How do I manage those employees? How do I make myself look good to banks? Lots of different things in this learning center. And they also give you the ability to find assistance with that experienced business leader that's already been running a business for a while in your area. So there's lots of different things here that you can find. You can even find assistance for disaster relief. So if you happen to run a business and then all of a sudden you're hit by a disaster, the offices are there too, as well as offices and resources for women starting businesses, for veterans starting businesses, and how you can get help for procurement. So there's a few other resources that I want to point out. I am located in Virginia. There's this area that I am in Virginia called DC, Maryland, Virginia, also known as the DMV. So I'm going to go over the resources a little bit about this area. One of the resources for Virginia is virginia.gov/business. Also, it used to be called Business One Stop back in the day, and they still have that Business One Stop, as you can see on this slide. But there's some other things that's connected to this business portal, like the workforce development portal is also there. For Maryland, there's also a portal for that too as well, where you can get resources for starting a business that are specific to Maryland, including how to register. Same thing on Virginia as well, and for DC. Now, I'll include these slides so that you can get to these links. So you can get to the links without having to try to copy it off the screen. But if you get the copying it, there you go. So me, how did I in particular start my business? Well, these are the steps as best as I can recall them anyway. First of all, I went on SBA. I found this course called Essential Guide to Starting Your Own Business, which is no longer available, but there's a course that's just like it called Young Entrepreneurs. So I've included the link to that. I went through the course, I got my certificate. Then I figured out what structure that I wanted to set my business up as. Initially, I went with sole proprietorship because it's the easiest thing to set up. I had to go apply for a FIN number. I had to go apply for a FIN number. I had to check to see if my business name was taken or not taken via SEC. And I had to register for a Virginia account, but you need your FIN number for that. So you got to get your FIN number first. You basically need your FIN number for a lot of this. And then I went to the post office and I got a post office box because I didn't have a office space. I wanted to use a different mailing address for people that wanted to have a mailing address for me instead of them coming to my home. Then I went to my county registrar and the commissioner of revenue. Again, I needed the FIN and the tax ID. Registered my business name, got my business permit, got my zoning permit. Tried to find out about getting a SharePoint environment, tripped into becoming a Microsoft partner, filled out all the paperwork, became a Microsoft partner. I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. Then I got a website domain and started building it. And then I started networking like crazy. I went to lots of different networking events, lots of different meetups, talking to people, giving out business cards, which I forgot to add that I actually got business cards. Gave out lots of business cards, followed up like crazy. And then I went into this cycle of studying and learning, trying to figure out better ways to improve my business acumen, learn from others. So I had several mentors that actually helped me be able to become a business better person. And of course, I worked, and that was a continual cycle. The very next year, I registered as an LLC because it gives you a bit more separation between your business and your personal. That way, if any legal issues pop up, they're not able to hit you directly as a person as they can with a sole proprietorship. But I highly recommend that you read the differences between those corporation standings, business structures, so that you understand. But I recommend that you at least become an LLC. A sole proprietorship is fine when you first start off, but you want to get some separation just in case things go a little bit awry. So now let's talk about how I became a partner. It was a little bit like this. It's like, oops, now I'm a partner. Okay, that was cool. I basically found that link and I tripped into being a partner. I filled out all that paperwork. And here's some information on what the partner page looks like. Actually, I should have changed that 2014. It should be 2018. It does say 2018, but I left 2014 on there by mistake. Sorry about that. I'll fix that in the slides before you guys get them. But this is what it's looked like around then. The partner page, which gives you a bunch of information about being a partner, how you can become a partner. Once you become a partner, you can sign in, you can get a whole lot more information about your particular partnership. And you can become three different types of partners. So, whoops, the slide just, okay. You can become three different types of partners. So the network partner is a free partnership. It includes some things. There's some things that you can get, like some training. There's some other valuable resources. But very quickly, I became a Action Pack partner soon after that. The Action Pack partner, you get an MSDN subscription, so you get access to a lot of different software. You also get a cloud pack of access. So you get access to Office 365. And through the Action Pack, you're able to, since you're able to get more of the software free, um, it can help you with that expense in the beginning. And it's only about $500 a year, I think. Then after that, I became a competency partner, where I had a silver competency in the cloud. Now that's harder. There's gold competency and there's silver competency. With gold competencies, you have to have multiple people that have taken certain tests to be a certain competency. And this is changing actually now. There's about to be a change in the competency program that you're going to want to keep your eye on if you are about to thinking about being a competency partner. With a silver partnership, though, you can only have it can be that you just have one person, and that one person, of course, was me. That was competent or had tested for competency in the cloud. Plus, I had enough seats of cloud sold, which qualified me as well. So there may be the testing, there's the testing side, but there's also the sales side. Did you service enough people so far? Did you sell enough seats as well as servicing, um, possibly, depending on what kind of partner you are? Because there's different ones. There's SharePoint, there's Office 365, there's CRM. All the technologies have their own competencies, and then the competencies levels. So you would have to check to see what the qualifications are and make sure they're met. And then, of course, you have to pay the fee too. So for silver, it's around $1,300, and for the gold, it's around $2,700 last time I looked. Once you get one, though, if you qualify for another one, you don't have to pay the fee again. So you could pay the fee once and get multiple competencies if you meet all the qualifications for the multiple competencies. And depending on what kind of partner you are, once you sign in, you'll be able to see what kind of incentives you get. So some partners, depending on their level, will get cash back for selling certain license SKUs at certain times of the year. We'll get incentives to bring on more clients. Like if you get a big client, Microsoft will actually give you money towards getting a plan together for their deployment, their implementation, even give you money for training dollars, especially if you're a training partner. But even if you're not, depending on what level of partner you are and what type of partner, you can get those types of incentives. But you have to sign up and then you have to sign in, and then you can see all of the available incentives that are available to you as your particular partner that you are. Now, I have a few tips that I want to give you because there are things that I wish I knew then that I know now that would have led me to possibly keep my company longer or even build it um, to bigger heights than I was able to. There were some things that I just did not know. So I'm going to pass those along to you right now. Some of the things I wish I did know. I wish I knew to apply for credit when my credit was good, even if you don't need it. I didn't need it. My credit was excellent. My credit is not so excellent right now, um, but it's taken quite a few thrashings over the 6 years that I've owned, 6.5 years that I've owned the business. Um, the time that I got to the point that where I was ready to grow, I could not grow because I didn't have any I didn't have any money to be able to pay people to be able to invest more in marketing, things like that. I was doing all of my own marketing, all of my own networking. I was able to hire on people, but when customers don't pay and don't pay on time, which is another thing I found out quite rudely, that can really mess you up for when you're trying to pay people. So I kept hiring people on, and then I had to let them go. I even had a bench of 6 contractors that I couldn't fully utilize because I did not have the money in a consistent basis to be able to keep them on. So if your credit is good before you start the business, get lines of credit. Now, I would say get lines of credit instead of getting a loan. That way, the line of credit is there when you need it. A loan, you have to start paying back as soon as you get it for the most part. Read books beforehand. I highly suggest The E Myth. Um, there's a few more on my reading list. I'll actually try to add a slide for that after I finish this recording. There's a few different books. One's about partnerships, one about entrepreneurship, one about starting a business that will give you some of the lowdowns, things that you need to know, and things that will be helpful for you to make better decisions than a lot of us that start businesses and didn't actually do all of the research. Like me, I did some of the research, but I didn't do all the research. I didn't know about some of these books until I was well into owning a business. Get a partner if you can. It's much easier if it's two of you and one of you is handling half the business and one of you is handling the other half. It is really hard to run the business and do the work and collect the money all at the same time. And that was my problem. I didn't get a partner that I trusted in the beginning. And then when I tried to get a partner, they were more interested in starting their own business. So that didn't work out. Um, but you also want to make sure that you get a partner that is going to be uh, that you're aligned with as well. Not only that you can trust them, but you guys are both going in the same direction and you both understand the way forward, and that you like. Don't get somebody you don't like. Um, Also, make sure you have a steady paycheck, at least until you're able to get out there on your own. Me, I was kind of thrown out there. I started the business when I was at Booz Allen Hamilton. I didn't know that I couldn't have a business until I tripped over one of those thou shalt not statements. I was applying to get a waiver. And then I got approached by another company saying that they didn't care that I had a business and come on over. Well, I did, and that was like my first contract under my business. But that contract, um, it all of a sudden just disappeared. The government ran out of money. That state agency ran out of money all of a sudden, and they cut my contract. And then I was just out there, just flapping in the wind. So that was some hard times, and I went through a few different hard times like that. Lots of up and down. Now, you do need to devote time to your business, but you don't want it to be um, so devoted that you're not able to keep yourself afloat and you're so stressed out because you're not able to keep yourself afloat. There were a few times where I actually took on 1099 jobs instead of jobs under my company. And there was maybe one or two times that I actually took a W-2 paycheck for about a few months, just so um, I could stay stable, and I can make sure my family was eating. So, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Or you could reach out to my company if you're looking for actual services. But other than that, I thank you for your time. And like I said, I will post these slides and add the part about the books that I recommend. Thanks, guys. Have a great one.